Have you ever wondered how our mind can fool us? We take a lot of decisions in our daily life, but are they really right for us? Rolf Dobelli's book The Art of Thinking clearly teaches us to identify our thinking mistakes and correct them. In this book, the author has mentioned 99 thinking mistakes that affect our daily life. For example, the success trap is a thinking where we focus only on successes and ignore failures. This gives us the misconception that only success matters, while failures are equally important. Similarly, confirmation bias has also been discussed. This is the habit that forces us to believe only those informations that match our preconceived ideas. Because of this, we miss out on new and important information that can affect our decisions. Every chapter of this book teaches you a new way of thinking. It tells you ways to make your thinking clear and easy so that you can take better decisions at every turn of life. This book not only helps you in understanding the weaknesses of your thinking, but also helps you in understanding the weaknesses of your thinking. This will not only help you understand your problems, but will also tell you how to deal with them. If you want to improve your thinking skills and make the right decisions in life, then The Art of Thinking will clearly prove to be a great guide for you. It will give a new perspective to your thoughts, and will help you take your life in a new direction. Before moving forward, if you are new to our channel, then join us so that we can all move forward together. So let's start again. Rolf Dobelli once did an interesting research in his nearest grocery store. He saw that there were 134 types of wine, 48 types of yogurt, 64 types of cleaning items, and about 300 other things. This clearly shows that nowadays people are confused between so many options. Today we have thousands of career options, hundreds of mental health problems, and countless holiday destinations. Never in history have people had so many options. When Rolf was a child, life was very simple. At that time there were only 3 types of yogurt, 2 TV channels, and a simple telephone, which was used only for calling people. We used to be happy with that, but today when you go to an electronics store, you find so many phone brands, models, and services that you don't understand what to buy. More options are now considered a sign of progress, but these more options are not always good. When we have too many options, it can complicate our life. This is called the paradox of choice. A psychologist, Barry Schwartz, has written about this in his book Why the Paradox of Choice Happens. When we have too many options, we are unable to make the right decision. Once an experiment was done in a supermarket. They put up a stall where people could try samples of jelly. On the first day, there were 24 kinds of jelly, and on the second day only 6. What happened was that on the first day, when there were 24 options, people did not buy anything, but on the second day, when there were only 6 options, more people bought jelly. This shows that more options confuse us. Another aspect of this is that more options can lead to wrong decisions. For example, if you ask a college student what qualities he likes in his life partner, he will say that he wants a kind and understanding partner. But when he is dating, do he really keep these things in mind? Earlier in villages, a person had to choose one of the 20 girls with whom he grew up. They knew each other's families, so their decision was based on positive qualities only. Nowadays people do online dating where they have millions of options. It becomes difficult to choose the right person among so many options, so most people focus only on physical attractiveness. The confusion of choice. Take you have gone to buy new shoes. When there are 200 types of shoes in the store, how will you know that you have chosen the best shoes? The truth is that you will not be able to know. Too many options make us even more confused and dissatisfied. So what is the solution to this? The solution is that before buying something, or while looking online, think in advance what you want. Make a list of your priorities and focus on that. Also accept that you can never make a perfect decision. Be happy with whatever you have chosen. Learn that this is also applicable for choosing a life partner. No one can be completely perfect, so learn to accept the good and weak aspects of the person you choose and learn to love him or her. This is the key to real satisfaction. Learn from this research by Rolf Dobelli. We learn that more options are not always better. Sometimes fewer options can bring more happiness and satisfaction. Maintaining balance in your life and learning the art of making the right decisions is the solution to this complication. For centuries, people have been trying to understand the world around them, but there are some things that surprise us. In 1697, an explorer saw a scene that changed everyone's thinking. This incident shows how limited our thinking can be and how some unexpected events can bring a big change in our lives. Nicholas Taleb has explained this idea in depth in his book The Black Swan. Now let us understand it with an example. There are minor fluctuations in the stock market every day. Investors ignore these changes, but on October 19, 1987, the Dow Jones Index suddenly fell by 22%. This incident created a stir all over the world, and it was considered a historical event. This incident is a symbol of the fact that sometimes such things happen in life that we cannot even imagine. Such incidents are called black swan. These incidents, black swans, can have a profound impact on your career, business, and life. Their impact can be positive or negative. For example, a person suddenly getting a big break in his career or someone winning the lottery can be a positive black swan. On the other hand, a natural disaster or an economic crisis can be an example of a negative black swan. There are many things in our life that we know about, some of which we do not have information about, and some of which we do not even think about. These facts are like common knowledge, while unknown facts are some questions whose answer we do not know. For example, is the internet making us smarter, or what is the size of the universe? Answers to these questions can be found in the future, but the things that we do not know at all are different. For example, 200 years ago, no one knew that social media would become an integral part of our lives. So why do we need to know about black swans? Because these events are becoming very important in our lives. We make plans for the future, but these plans do not fully prepare us for unexpected events. Our brain evolved to help us hunt and collect chi. In ancient times, our ancestors faced only simple things they used to hunt animals, which were sometimes fast and sometimes slow. Whatever they saw was easy to understand, but today's modern age is completely different. Our brain cannot keep up with technological advancement. Many people have become rich by experiencing black swan, like J.K. Rowling, Larry Page, and Usain Bolt, who grabbed a unique opportunity and achieved success. All this has been possible in recent years. So how can we take advantage of the information of black swan? Put yourself in such a situation where you have a chance of positive black swan. Big business artists and investors usually face more chances because their product can be liked by a lot of people at any time. On the other hand, people who sell their services, like employees, journalists, or doctors, have less chances because their big break comes rarely. In general, you can avoid negative black swan by saving money, by avoiding debt, and investing carefully. Save whether you get a big break or not because it will keep you safe. Thus, knowing about black swan can help us to make our future better. It teaches us that unexpected events can happen in life, and we should always be prepared. Kevin, a friend of Rolf Dobelli, once bought 2 bottles of expensive wine. Although Kevin was not fond of wine, and did not even drink cheap wine, yet a good salesman persuaded Kevin to buy wine without any pressure, and because of this Kevin decided to buy wine. On the other hand, Joe Girard is a successful car salesman who gave a very useful advice to his friends. The best sales technique is to make the customer feel that you care about them. Joe sends a card to his customers every month on which is written, "We like you." This is called liking bias. It means that we like to buy from people we like. A study has found that we like those people more who first look good, second are like us, and third make us feel good. The world of advertising often uses the first 2 points. Advertising usually shows beautiful and attractive persons. While normal-looking people are rarely shown, advertisements also feature people who look like us. For example, women are shown in laundry detergent advertisements because they are the main consumers of this product. Another technique used in advertisements is called mirroring. In this, the sales agent imitates the customer's gestures and way of speaking. For example, if the customer speaks slowly and scratches his head, the sales agent also does the same. This makes the customer feel that the sales agent is like them, due to which the customer starts liking them and buys the product. Compliments are also used in advertisements. Sales agents try to attract customers by complimenting them, such as "You deserve this," "You look very young," or "This color looks great on you." These compliments make the customer feel that the sales agent likes them. Multilevel marketing also works on this basis. For example, take the company called Tupperware, which makes high-quality plastic containers. Their products are also available at low prices in local supermarkets. Yet Tupperware sells more because their sales agents throw parties at their homes. This way they build a personal relationship with customers. NGOs also use this technique to encourage people to donate. They always show pictures of women and children in their campaigns. You rarely see pictures of tough or wounded soldiers. They need our support too. Environmental activists also think carefully about which animals to show in their advertisements. The World Wildlife Fund, WWF, does not show insects or spiders in their brochures. These creatures are also important to our ecosystem. Instead, WWF shows pictures of cute animals like pandas and polar bears because we like animals that behave more like humans. Rolf Dobelli's friend David, an oil pump dealer, once made a $10 million deal for a pipeline abroad. Dobelli joked that he did it by paying bribes. But that was not the case. David and his client were in a meeting when they suddenly started talking about sailing. The conversation made them realize that both of them like sailing. And that is why the client started liking David. If you are a sales agent, praise your client and think positively about them. If you are a customer, pay attention to whether that product is right for you. Always avoid paying attention to the sales agent and take your decision independently. In this way, it is important to understand how liking bias is used and how it affects us. We should make our decisions wisely and make our shopping experience better. Imagine you are roaming in a big fair. Suddenly you see that many people are going fast in the same direction. Your curiosity increases, and you also follow them to see what is happening there. This is what we call social proof. When you reach there, you see that a magician is showing his funny tricks. One person starts clapping, and gradually everyone starts clapping. You also start clapping. This is also an example of social proof. After the fair is over, when you go to get your goods, you see that some people are tipping the staff, whereas this service is already included in your ticket. But because other people are doing it, you also decide to follow them and give tips. This is called herd mentality. When people follow others without thinking and believe that they are right. When many people do something or believe in something, we also start to believe it to be right. Social proof plays a big role in fashion, food items, and trends, but it also has some bad effects, like when people panic and sell in the stock market or get trapped in a wrong ideology and make losses. In 1950, the famous psychologist Solomon Asch did an interesting experiment in which people were shown 4 lines and asked which line is equal to a basic line. When the person was alone, he always gave the right answer, but when he was kept with 5 people who deliberately gave the wrong answer, that person also gave the wrong answer 33 times because he came under the pressure of those people. The reason why social proof has such an effect on us is related to our ancestors. Thousands of years ago, when you were hunting with your group and everyone suddenly started running, what would you do? Would you think what happened? You would also run after them, because at that time those who did not follow the crowd would hardly be able to. We are the descendants of those people who copied each other and survived. That is why social proof is deeply embedded in us. Even today we use it even if it harms us. Businesses, governments, and leaders take advantage of it. For example, pre-recorded laughter is played in comedy shows so that you also laugh. Another big example of social proof is the speech of Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels in 1943. At that time, Germany was losing the war, and Goebbels sought support from the public. He asked, "Do you want a big and dangerous war?" And the crowd started screaming loudly. If Goebbels had asked the same question to different people, then probably no one would have accepted this idea. So before believing someone's words, think for yourself, decide what is right and wrong with your knowledge and experience, make your own opinion, and don't just become a part of the crowd. Once in 1981, Max Planck got the Nobel Prize for Physics. He was touring many cities of Germany, where he used to share his views on quantum mechanics. The topic of his every lecture was quantum mechanics. That is what used to happen. Gradually his driver memorized his lectures completely. One day the driver said, "Professor, are you not bored? This time in Munich, why don't I give a lecture in your place? You wear my hat and sit in the audience." Planck accepted the idea. That evening the driver gave a long lecture on quantum in Munich, and no one recognized that he was not the real Planck. When a professor asked a question, the driver cleverly said, "I don't think anyone would ask such a simple question in a city like Munich. My driver will give the best answer for this." The professor did not know that Planck was actually sitting in the same place. There are two categories of knowledge. The first is real knowledge, which is acquired by those who study a subject deeply. The second is chauffeur knowledge, which occurs when a person only has a little knowledge to impress others. People with chauffeur knowledge wear good clothes and talk in an attractive manner, but their knowledge is limited. Their way of speaking is as if they are reading a script. We often get caught in the trap of chauffeur knowledge, like news anchors and journalists. News anchors appear to be people who have deep knowledge on the subject, but in reality, they are just reading from a prepared script. They organize panel discussions, but do not have complete knowledge of the subject themselves. Some journalists have real knowledge. They try to understand the depth of the subject after years of hard work and research. But some other journalists still live in the realm of superficial knowledge. They take information from people and write articles by hearsay. Their reports are often biased and brief because they lack real knowledge. Therefore, it is very important to be cautious to avoid the influence of superficial knowledge. The difference between real experts and imposters is that experts recognize their limitations. When they are asked a question to which they do not know the answer, they honestly say, "I do not know." Whereas imposters beat around the bush or use complex words to hide their shortcomings. In this way, we should always be alert so that we can understand the difference between real knowledge and superficial knowledge and identify the right information. One evening, the author Rolf Dobelli and his wife went to watch a film in a theater. In the middle of the film, Rolf said Rolf told him that he should return home because he was not interested in the movie, but his wife reminded him that he had bought a ticket worth $1, which should not be spent later. Rolf said that he does not have that money now. "We have already spent it, so it does not matter whether we watch the movie or not." His wife looked at him strangely, as if he was talking something strange. Finally, Rolf agreed to his wife and had to watch the movie. The next morning Rolf went to a marketing meeting. One of his advertising campaigns, which had started 4 months ago, was not giving any good results till now. Rolf was among those who wanted to stop this campaign, but the advertising manager said that he had already invested a lot of money. If he stopped it, all his money would be wasted. Here he got caught in the trap of cost spread. Rolf had a friend who was in a bad relationship. His partner would cheat on him again and again, and then return and apologize. The friend told that he had given a lot in this relationship, so it was not easy to leave her. Cost spread occurs when we invest a lot of time, hard work, money, or emotions in something. It makes us stay stuck in that thing. It forces us to keep investing even if we have already lost a lot. As we invest, the desire to continue increases. Investors often make this mistake when they invest in stocks. When people buy stocks, they only look at the current price of the stock, but they should also keep in mind the future price. If the stock is not performing well now, it is better to sell it and look for better alternatives. Sunk cost spread depends on our situation and our need to accept our decisions. We do not want to change our old decisions and accept our mistakes. An example is Concorde, a supersonic aircraft project which was started by the UK and French governments. They continued with it despite many failures. Similarly, the US kept fighting the Vietnam War instead of giving up because they had already spent a lot. Now it is time to think. Have you invested a lot of time, effort, or money in something that is no longer working? Don't focus on that thing, but focus on the future. If you can let it go, then let it go, because by holding on to it, you will incur more losses and also lose new opportunities. Have you ever thought in which situation you would feel the worst? Imagine if a close friend of yours gets a new car while your old car is not working properly, or your friend gets a chance to go on a luxurious vacation. And how would you feel if you hear this if you stay at home? If any of these situations make you uncomfortable, you are not alone. Jealousy is a normal emotion that often arises inside us. Once upon a time, there lived a simple farmer in a small village. He was very good at his work, but there was something missing in his life. One day he found a shiny stone under an old tree in the village. When he touched the stone, a jinn came out of it. The jinn said, "I will fulfill one of your wishes." The farmer thought and said, "I wish that my neighbor's crop gets spoiled." Hearing this, the jinn was a little surprised, but he fulfilled the farmer's wish. Do you think the farmer was right? This feeling of jealousy made him want to find happiness in his neighbor's failure. Perhaps you too have felt something like this when your colleague got a promotion and you did not. Perhaps you started ignoring him or underestimating his success. Jealousy is a useless emotion. It breaks you from inside and wastes your time. We feel jealous when we see someone else's wealth, beauty, or success. But it is important to remember that jealousy can lead to happiness. You do not achieve anything. Jealousy and envy are often considered the same, but there is a difference between the two. Jealousy is when you fight for something, whereas jealousy is when you have negative feelings towards a person. For example, if a student feels jealous after seeing his classmates' grades, then it is a case of jealousy. We often feel jealous of people similar to us. For example, if you are a young entrepreneur and one of your friends has made a big deal, then you may feel jealous of him, but you never feel jealous of those who are far ahead of you, such as the richest people in the world. Suppose you have started a new company, and your friend has done the same. Your company is running a little slow, but your friend's company is growing fast. You may feel jealous thinking that he is doing better than you, but is it fair? Jealousy will only cause you mental stress. So how to control jealousy? First of all, do not compare yourself with others. Your journey is different, and so is the scale of your success. Secondly, recognize your capabilities. Find an area in which you are the best and work on it. The feeling of jealousy was also with our ancestors. When our ancestors lived in the jungles, they used to compete with their peers, but in today's world, we don't need to be jealous if your colleague has bought an expensive car. It doesn't mean that he has taken something from you. Instead, get inspired by the person you want to become and try to reach there with your hard work. After all, jealousy is just an emotion. Understanding it and moving beyond it is the real success. So whenever you feel jealous, ask yourself whether this emotion is pushing you forward or holding you back. Have you ever noticed that when you are at the airport or railway station, some people come to you and try to give you flowers or other things they say it is all free or a gift from them, you want to avoid them, but suddenly you find yourself taking their stuff. After some time you see that another colleague of theirs is asking you to give a donation. All this is based on the principle of reciprocity. When we receive something from someone, we start feeling indebted to them. This is the reason why many people or groups give you free things, because they expect you to give something in return. Charities and NGOs use this technique very well. Suppose an environmental organization sends you postcards of beautiful places. Along with it, they also send a letter which says that this postcard is a gift for you, and if you do not want to donate, you can still keep it. Even if you know that this is their plan, you still do not feel like throwing it away. Here is another example. A sales agent invites you to his program for free. He assures you that there is no pressure on you to buy his things, but because of his words you feel that you should buy something. He makes you feel as if you are indebted to him. This technique has been going on since ancient times. Our ancestors also adopted it in their lives. In those days, it was not certain whether they would get food every day or not. Imagine if you hunt a big deer and cannot eat it alone, then you share some of it with your companions. Share the next time your companions catch a big animal, they will give you a share too. Reciprocity is not just a way to survive. It is also a means of cooperation and helping others. Reciprocity is also needed in business. Without it, the global economy does not make sense. However, there is a downside to this process as well. When people use it to manipulate others or take revenge, it can cause problems. Until one party backs down, the two parties keep clashing. So now that you understand reciprocity, be careful the next time someone tries to give you something for free. It is possible that they are expecting something back from you. Let us look at some of the key things this book teaches us. The first important thing is confirmation bias. We often look for information that confirms our preconceived opinions. This keeps us stuck in the same mindset. That is why we should listen to different opinions and be open to our thinking. The second sunk cost is spread, when we try to repay the money or time we have already spent. When we think about something, we make our decisions based on it, but we should focus on what will be beneficial in the future and not on what has already been spent. The third thing is the halo effect. When one good or bad thing about someone starts affecting all his other things, then it is called the halo effect. We should avoid this and evaluate each thing separately. The fourth thing is availability heuristic. We give more importance to those events which are easy to remember. This makes it difficult for us to guess the truth correctly. Therefore, before taking a decision, we should focus on more facts and figures. The fifth and last thing is loss aversion. People often consider losses more important than benefits. Because of this, we are afraid to take risks even if the benefits can be more. We should think in a balanced way and focus more on the benefits than the losses. Understanding these things, this book by Rolf Dobelli teaches us to recognize our mental inclinations and take better decisions so that we can live our lives in a clean and balanced way. We hope you like this book summary. Friends, subscribe to our channel and become better every day. Thank you.